Each deployment was different with Eli being gone. So the first one, we were married, but we didn't have any children. So I think that was easier, but it was harder because with my first one, I didn't know anybody. I was in a city that I had no friends, and then I had a new job. So that was really difficult. I don't want to say it was lonely. It was just hard because it was like time went by really slow, and you didn't know when he was going to call. You never had a phone number. He called you. So I had to make sure I was available pretty much at all times. It's hard because they're off saving the world and you're at home waiting, figuring out, okay, is he gonna come back? And how do I make it fun when he does?
I do not know you, but I am your brother.
You do not know me, but I am your protector.
I will run into a burning building to save your life.
Though I do not know your name, I will take a bullet for you.
Though we've never met,
I believe in duty
and sacrifice of self.
Your family is my family.
Is my family. Your life is my duty.
Eli and I met when I was 17. His brother told me to stay away from him, and I asked him out and he said no. 4 years later, I asked him out again. He said yes, finally. So we started dating when I was about 21, 22, and he told me that he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. He actually tried for the second time, and within a week, he graduated from the SEAL team's SQT training to become a SEAL, and I graduated college. We were married at that point for 6 months, and then right when he joined his team, he deployed. So Eli's first deployment was to Iraq, and it was very nerve-wracking because he was a new guy joining a team that had already been there. So he was a new guy with people that he didn't even know. So I was good to go, but just about a year ago is when the helicopter crashed and a lot of SEALs died. So I was just nervous. He came home. So when Eli called and I got to hear his voice, it was really exciting just to know that he was okay. You didn't get to hear everything that they were doing, but you knew that he was safe. I knew that if he wasn't gonna call for a week, because he would let me know that he was gonna be working. So that meant that I wasn't gonna get a call. So that, I mean, it was just nice. The biggest thing I would do is when I was thinking about something during the week or during the day and I wanted to talk to him, I'd write it down on a piece of paper so that when he did call, it would be in the middle of the night, I'd hurry up, try to find that paper, just because they're men and they're busy and they don't like to have small talk. So I was like, your brother called, he's doing well. And then it would spark conversation. When I became a mom, it actually became easier because I was busier. I didn't worry as much about being a single mom. I just did what I needed to do, and I enjoyed it much more having kids because I got to share it with somebody. Each deployment was different with Eli being gone. So the first one, we were married, but we didn't have any children. So I think that was easier, but it was harder because with my first one, I didn't know anybody. I was in a city that I had no friends, and then I had a new job. So that was really difficult. I don't want to say it was lonely, it was just hard because it was like time went by really slow. And you didn't know when he was gonna call. You never had a phone number, he called you. So I had to make sure I was available pretty much at all times. The second deployment and the third deployment was different because we had a daughter. So the first deployment, I kept busy going home, getting a job, being a mom. The third deployment, I think, was the easiest, and that's when I finally got a hang of it, and then that's when he decided that was gonna be his last deployment. So as soon as I got a hang of it, he was done. I started my own business in 2008 because I had extra time at night, and I needed to fill that time. I needed to fill that void. Eli wasn't there. So when Eli got back from his second deployment, he decided that he wanted to have a hobby. About 3 or 4 months prior to that, he received a gift from his brother. It was a bottle opener from the Philippines. It was very generic, it wasn't painted or anything. It was just a really cool bullet that opened up your beer. So he decided to take that bullet into his garage. He spray painted it black, and he put his Punisher patch. We actually have the tools that he used to create the first bottle breacher, and it's funny because it's our broom handle. He took our handle off of our broom, he drew a cut over it, and he put it over the bullet, and he Dremel tooled out what we have now is our patented design for our cut, because our bottle openers don't look like any other bullet bottle openers. And he took that to his platoon at SEAL Team 3, and they just fell in love with it. They're like, I want 5, I want 10. And it was around Christmas time. It was like October of 2012. So after he decided and realized that it was something that he could sell, he took it to me and he said, hey, could you sell these online? And at the time I had my own business and I was really busy. And I was like, I don't know, I'm so busy. I finally have my own job. So December, it was like Christmas Eve, December of 2012, I threw it up on Etsy. And I realized really quick what we had was not actually a bullet bottle opener, it was a groomsman gift, because I marketed it to people instead of as a thing. And then it just took off. So within 2 months, 3 months, we had a couple $100s, which was the goal, is to have date night money. And then 6 months, we had a couple $1,000s. And then he realized really quick, I'm onto something, but what we don't have is we don't have a way to personalize them. So he actually sold his Big Dog Chopper, his Pride and Joy, his baby he got from his second deployment as a gift, and he sold it to buy our first laser engraver, which was about 12 grand at the time. So once we sold that, we were making 20, 30 grand out of our one-car garage, and that's when we knew that we had something, and that's when we applied to Shark Tank. So it's funny because I remember, to this day, I remember even the feeling of like the San Diego air, and I love it, like walking around his bike, and I remember looking inside of our house, this like, and our like 5 stray cats outside, and I was like, you know, I wonder if I should tell him not to sell it, because I was so sad for him, because he saved his money, and he worked so hard, and he went on so many deployments and workups, but I realized that it's going to take sacrifice, and we didn't have the cash, and we didn't want to be the biggest thing, and especially even now today, we do not have debt, personally and as a business. And so we decided he just wanted to sell it, and I was like, you know what, if he wants to be a big boy and build a business, then we're going to have to make big boy decisions, and we sold the motorcycle. I thought Eli was crazy when he showed me his product at first, when he's like started to like start selling them, because I didn't think bottle openers would be anything of what it is today. I think the craziest point was when he said he was not only going to leave the military, but he was going to leave the military to sell bottle openers. I was like, we have to have health care. How are we going to do this? The way I did it was with numbers. Once we made enough money, I started to realize the dream. And then once we were on Shark Tank and other people saw it, then I understood. But even walking on Shark Tank, I was like, I think they were going to laugh at us. This is bottle openers. But that's what's cool about it, is that there's a bigger picture and bigger story behind it than just opening a beer. A month prior, he got out of the military. So we went from SEAL teams and me telling people that he painted ships for a living to being on TV, national TV overnight. So faith is a huge part of us working together. I feel like it's why we are married, and it's why we stay married. It's how this business is run, and it could mean that tomorrow we won't have it anymore. And that's okay, and that's what I love about it, is that I'm not making the decisions. Someone that knows my path is choosing, and I'm following as best as I can. And so for us, it's everything. Faith is what makes us who we are, and it's what keeps Bottle Breacher going. I love connecting with military wives now, for honestly, just because it brings me back to those times. I've never met stronger people, honestly, than military wives, police wives, police officers, people that have served. It reminds me of who we are, and it makes me realize what's the most important thing in life, and I feel like that's service to our country.